Well, hello. I know. You're welcome. Charlie Greer podcast. Like, share, subscribe, comment. If you want to support this shit show, go on the description and there's the Zelle info. Let's do this. So, yeah, man, boss hogs and Karens. Oh, they're everywhere, man. For one, let's just break it down about corruption and police. Yeah, they're right. I mean, I'm not really into all that, but yeah, there's corruption. Every little town, every little sheriff. I'm not saying they're murderers or whatever, but see, it's more cronyism, nepotism. Like my daddy was the sheriff. I mean, I was born into that. I'm from Smithville, Tennessee. I'm this little hillbilly town. Everybody talks about it, but then it just keeps going on. And I mean, I'm not going to change anything. And everybody gets their chance to. It's this person, it's that person. And Karens just don't have any foresight. Like, I'm my mother. I'm this guy. They're everywhere. Can't swing a cat without hitting a boss hog or a Karen. Or a boss hog Karen. I mean, they could be, there's. Yeah, but moving back to the, for one, okay, being in LA, there's boss hogs and Karens too. A lot of them. Again, it's just everywhere you go. In their delusional mind, they're thinking people, and most people don't, but nobody's going to speak up. And nobody, again, people with their cowardly ways don't speak up. I mean, they'll gossip. I'm saying, I know, but they're not saying or speaking out. That's a lot of times that's all it takes. Because again, there's not that many people controlling all the people. They'll tuck tail and run as soon as they find out. Oh, good to know. Remember, people are people. Armies are made up of people. You think you can sit there in a castle you can build or a defense system you can, I don't care how sophisticated technology, wireless. No, the people come after you. It ain't gonna be good. I mean, most ancient castles, I mean, it's been mowed down over and over again. I mean, build it up, mow it down, build it. But people, every generation, well, not me. See, if I lie, my lies are better. And I took a secret oath, couple secret oaths. And lately with the crime, again, every time there's the news cycle, there's a shooting or whatever, and they bring out the cop. Here comes these boss, dude, in a 4X shirt, big old puzzle gutted gunt. There's no way he could pass a physical, yet he's the sheriff, and they're all over. And the deputy, and they got cowboy hats on, and come on, playing dress up. And again, I watch like true crime and the Delphi murders. If you don't know what that is, these two girls were murdered, and they got a video of the dude, and they got audio, whatever. And then here comes the sheriff and the mayor and all these boss. Obviously, people know what happened. I mean, I can see it in their eyes and their face, and probably locals do too. But all this boss hog and all these Karens, and I guarantee you, has something to do with like either law enforcement or some kind of municipal. There's probably a CI involved, a confidential informant. They'll cover for confidential informants because it'll make them look bad. So you got the video and the audio, like it says, like guys down the hill. Sounds to me it's like two put together. Like the guys sounds like they're recording this guy in an interview, like he might be a suspect, and he's saying, "Guys, I didn't do it." And they just use that first part, and then they put that in front of the down the hill. Sounds like two different recordings to me. I could be wrong. That's my humble opinion. But there's a lot of boss hogs involved. I've been listening. I just discovered the case. It's like 5 years old, but I last year, like December, November, whenever, and I listen to true crime podcasts and this and that and conspiracy. It's what I like. Let's do it when I go to bed. But the Delphi, it aggravates me, man. These poor kids were murdered. And it's just a plethora of boss hogs and Karens around. I mean, that again, and that's everywhere. It's just they got the the world stage on them. Even the FBI guy that was kind of in charge found out he was doing something bad. They took him. It's just like, huh? But yeah, I think somebody was a CI, like a confidential informant. Are there any confidential informants that are kind of connected or close to the case that don't want to talk on camera? You haven't heard? You might want to look, even a process of elimination. See, that's what you got to do. You got to eliminate people. So you got to look at everybody, man. It's just how they do it. That's how it gets done. It's like, no, not him. Nope, nope, nope. So you're not thinking about all that. You got to eliminate. Boss hogs are more worried about going to their meeting on Thursday or whatever. Hey, I got to cover it. If there's a confidential informant involved, they will cover their asses. And then their other brethren who also, they'll cover for so-and-so and then cover for so-and-so. Again, there's not that many people and there's different levels and they'll cover for everybody because they don't want them all. Because once you expose one, it's just like a domino effect. And some of these Karens, I mean, I think about what I'm about to say. I know how to converse. I listen to people. Sometimes I don't say anything. It's just people just automatically just squawking, just and I'm 51 years old. So I remember when it wasn't like that. People were like, "Hey, just because I can speak my mind doesn't mean I should. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. Just because I can doesn't mean I should." I live my life that way. Yeah, I could squawk and raise hell too. But I don't like the way it makes me feel. You release lactic acid that settles in your people get sick. And a lot of these Karens that are not healthy. I mean, I pray for people. But it's just enough's enough, man. Enough's enough. This isn't like the Dukes of Hazzard. Well, the boss hog and no. People are fed up. How can you be morbidly obese and then be in the charge of the elite police force? You can't. Can you even do a pull-up or a push-up? Can you do anything? You'll have a stroke if you got to run. I mean, I'm not trying to fat shame either, man. But certain things need physical fitness. Like people act like physical fitness is a thing. Like people come up to me, don't even know. Like, I look at you, you're all, And they're surprised how old I am. But it's like, dude, I want to keep in shape. I'm not an athlete, but it's like I want to. Granted, I'm stuck in this mortal coil. I'm human. I don't want to let myself go. Just for the simple fact it makes me feel like shit. That used to mean something. Your body, your mind, keeping it fit. No, they think this, Mr. In shape. And they're the masters of busy work. They're always like writing some kind of starting a 30-man committee, just that, let's add another button to the website. And nothing gets done. Again, people know. Everybody already fucking knows. Whether it's this, a murder, that, what, who's what, there's always a truth window. Everybody's got the truth window. See, with me, my truth window is open. There ain't nothing. I don't have anything, hey, people don't like that. Because their truth window is like nailed shut with another shutter on the back. And it's just, and they know in their mind, even subconsciously, they know it's going to happen. And subconsciously, they want it to happen. People want to be exposed. They're masochists. They're into like emotional pain. They create this. Look around. Everybody you work with, I mean, not everybody, but most of the time a sociopath, which is sociopathic behavior, you can get away with it nowadays at work or around your family or whoever you. Go to YouTube and just look at how people what they're saying, how they say, like listen to YouTube like catatonic schizophrenic, and listen to how his cadence, how they talk. Then you go, oh my God, that's this person, that's that person. Listen to psychopaths, sociopaths. Listen to Ted Bundy. There's tells like on a bee, that yellow and black, get away, don't mess, I'll sting you. That's the world we live in. We can't ignore certain tells with humans. They'll tell you this is kind of some biblical shit, ancient book kind of stuff. I mean, I kind of wish I didn't learn how to read people because it's like, oh, are you kidding me? And it's gotten worse where these people used to be just, work. Now it's almost like a prerequisite to be a manager or own a business, CEO. You need these psychotic people. Like say hey, we need somebody that's going to be able to stomach like firing 1,000 people, knowing that there's data on this, and maybe 1 or 2 will commit suicide, they'll lose their house. But hey, we need somebody that's going to well, guess who can do that? Like a psychopath, a sociopath. They like to do that. Again, what else? Somebody, come on. You're telling some dude dressed up like a sheriff or a big old gunted. Well, if they let that go, what else have they? Everything in there. There ain't nothing that's on the straight and narrow. Again, I hate to bust people's bubbles, but everything is corrupt now. We lost. You just don't know. There's different kind of warfare going on these days. I mean, granted, they've been doing this since the beginning of time, Babylonian, whatever. But it's like people have Patty Hearst syndrome, Stockholm syndrome, meaning they will, they're too cowardly. So they end up loving their captors. You can't, once you go down that like Patty Hearst syndrome, it's hard to get to people. Meaning at first you'll hate them. What are you doing that? Eventually, if you don't have your own thoughts together, and you will think like them. That'll be your warm little blanket. It'll be your like pacifier. Look into it. Stockholm syndrome. That's a thing now. They're using that. The media, like if people watch any kind of news, I don't have a TV. I mean, I did. I bought a TV for my neighbor. I haven't even hooked it up yet. And if I have it on, it'll probably be some kind of I don't watch the news, which is propaganda. Can't you tell that you're being lied to? That's another thing. Do you know what you're being? Do you know if you're being lied to if you read something? See, people think it's in a book. It's in the newspaper. They did I forgot what department of military or intelligence, but they did a study. This is back in the day. Like, what's a weapon that can do the most damage, do the most, control over people, this kind of thing, whatever. And they came with typewriter. Back then it was a typewriter. They realized, hey, man, we have the newspaper. People. And I'm sure back in ancient times, hey, it's in stone. It's in a clay tap. We should be. I mean, come on. No. If people aren't going to wake up to it, then in your mind, you got to be like, look, it's already corrupt. That's the starting point. So you're going to be looking at people looking for approval. They lie to themselves. They don't even, but that's what we have now. Boss hogs and Karens. And then under that umbrella, there's so many little, generations of boss hogs and Karens. And quite honestly, we all got a little boss hog and Karen in us. I'm not exempt either. Everybody plays the fool, It's just like, wait a minute, I don't want to, See, people enjoy that lie. They get up, hey, it defines them. What are you going to do? But it's driving me crazy. More and more of these people, again, people don't even speak up. If you just spoke up, if everybody kind of was just like, and I'm not talking about shaming or whatever. It's like, hey, don't come at me like that. I'm a human being. What did you just say to me? Repeat what you just said, that kind of stuff. They'll leave you alone. See, they're only going to go. It's like a phone. If it's dead, you can't get the call. If people know they can call, they'll be calling. You got a dead line. Like, you can't come at me like that. And again, it's everywhere, especially in small towns. Again, there's only so many people, but it's just like, you can connect the dots of like, and everybody's is kind of everybody's family. You know, I'm from a small town in Tennessee, and it's just favoritism, nepotism, cronyism. I mean, again, I was born into that. Even at young, it's like, dude, I'm not dealing with this. It's that. I mean, that's more important. If you want to do like corporate bullshit, manipulate, evil kind of thing, that you better learn how to do that. It's basically the American caste system. Like, people are just, you should be, you're born here, you're going to have to stay. And if colleges were the epicenter of genius, don't you think that they would be able to have like businesses and all this? And now, granted, people grab people from college and, you know, they do whatever. People go to college, start business. But I'm talking about, don't you think it would just be like an endless flow of money and information? And it's another thing, when you are in that kind of game that you're stealing from people, you want everybody to make a little bit of money. See, the more money there is, there's more you can steal. These dumb motherfuckers, this new generation, no, they want to hold everybody back in their cheek like, Danny, nah, you don't get nothing. The mob even knew that, man. They're like, look, man, let's pay him like a union wage, just pay him high, and then we'll get him on, you know, for gambling and drinking and prostitute, you know what I mean? Like the vice kind of stuff. Pay him good so we can steal it. But leave them be, you know what I mean? Like, let them. Things ran pretty good when that was going on. Now it's just like, no, you're not going to get anything. Then we're going to steal that too. Well, guess what? People change when it starts affecting their babies and their kids. Like the food shortage, the baby food, what a formula. That's going to change people. That's going to awaken. It's like, you know, Bill Bixby turns into the Hulk. He's just a regular little guy, kind of small, but then he's getting mad. You're poking the dragon. These boss hogs and Karens, that's all they know. They poke. Not see, I've got aggravation and just, but they melt instantly when you, oh God, no. And they also will be claiming mental illness or dementia or whatever. And that's going to be happening. Mark my word, there's going to be actors, comedians, there's going to be politicians, there's going to be business people, whoever, that get caught or they know shit's coming, and that's what they're going to, oh, I got dementia now. I see I'm mentally ill. Trying to get out from under the weight that's coming. In fact, it's already happened probably. Suicides too. I mean, that's a thing. Everybody, or suicided or whatever they call it. Like there's just like certain politicians, man, you don't want to work for, man. I mean, they look at the record of you don't want to do security for certain people. I mean, what are the odds of all of them dying like that? Matter of fact, I wouldn't do Secret Service. What are those guys? Hey, you know, you're going to be hearing and seeing things you probably shouldn't want to. Then you can't be around. I mean, and that's been going on forever too. People, I guess, like boss hogs and Karens. I mean, they're everywhere in positions of power. I have seen a sheriff on TV with, there comes the boss hog, you know, just big old. Can you even get to your gun? Have you even seen your gun from your gut and gunt? And again, do they have physical fitness training anymore? I mean, what's going on? How can you be the elite? They've been there forever and rested. Yeah. Uh-huh. I mean, isn't there any that all must be bullshit. Background tests and psychological tests and the physical. There's no way these people would pass if it was real. I guarantee you, a real guy goes in there. Oh, well, he's under the microscope. He doesn't have to see his eyes are too blue. His feet are too big. They're nitpicking everything. It's sad. It's frustrating. Again, a lot of times they'll just go in there just to burn everything down and, hey, look at me. Because at the end of the day, subconsciously, that's what they want to do. They're not happy. They're miserable people, so everybody else has to be miserable. They don't have their dichotomy, their thought pattern. They can't, no, you're different. We got to. And they're in positions of power. And then we wonder, like, all this crime. Again, there's cameras everywhere. They can track phones. They know fucking everything. They know when you shit, what your fucking food you had. The other day, I went into a Chinese restaurant, and they were, like, talking about this weird fruit I'd never heard of. I get home. When I check my Facebook, all these ads for that fruit. Yeah, they were listening to me. I mean, my phone listens, I guess. What are the odds of that? Like, I'd never heard this word, seen this fruit. And then an hour later, when I check my phone, it's like, hey, and there's a video there about this fruit, and there's an ad. Why this? Well, you already know what I do. You knew when I took a shower. You knew when I. But then they can't solve it. No, it's been like with the Delphi murders. It's been 5 years since those girls were killed, and nobody. They got the video of the dude and the audio and all this, a bunch of evidence, and one of the DAs he resigned. He said he was kind of talking cryptically. He's like, "Hey, this should have been solved like in a couple of days. Even without all the technology they have, there was so much evidence that he said even back in like the 60s when they didn't have all this technology, they would have solved that." That tells me that there's other shit going on. He resigned. I have a feeling it's somebody close. I don't know who. I would bet that it's some kind of something law enforcement or municipal, the mayor, the whoever, a confidential informant, CI, and whoever hasn't spoke on camera. There's got to be a few of them that's like, oh, there's just a reason he didn't speak because they got the audio. And again, all that could be fake. That video of that dude on the bridge guy or whatever they call him. They could have, something ain't right. Again, it's ran by boss hogs and Karens. There's all these Karens. Right? But you don't want to mess with certain, like some of these podcasts. Some of my favorites are women, man. They figure shit out. They're good detectives. And I'm not saying they're Karens, but they could be in another country, just got their information. They should be giving these women jobs, man. And of course, they're attacked. Everybody comes out, you're wrong. Is that, and some of these, right. And again, within a crime, there might be 3 truths. So yeah, there might be 3 of them that are right on the spot. But when you put it together, it makes sense, so. So what do you do with, how do you get around? How do you swim navigate the boss hog and Karen seas? You expose them. You don't let them, again, speak up. Hey. No, see, well, I went to high school with them. Come on, man. Again, and they usually have to, they're busy work. They have to be doing something. They're always going after the small, weak people, low hanging fruit. So that's who they're going to, if you don't speak up, you know what I mean? Like they'll leave you be too. They almost respect that, you know what I mean? Because they can go on to some other coward who won't. And it's going to get worse. Oh my goodness. It's going to get, because I mean, there's so much of it that people just think it's normal. You can't, I guess there's no IQ tests anymore or psychological testing. I mean, you would think that I'm sure they have. Well, you got to take this 30-page test. But I guess they skip over it if it's like somebody's boy. Like, hey, my son wants to be sheriff too. Hey. And nepotism, cronyism. And again, we're all guilty of it too. I'm not exempt from that. You know, your cronies, hey, you help people out, you know, whatever, you think you're doing well. That's corruption, though. Even on a low, you know, say if you've got this and then you got a job, you get only your little friends' jobs and then everybody else has to suffer, you know, whatever. You're not thinking. That's how it starts. That's how, matter of fact, people, I have friends, I know people, acquaintances, whatever. That's all they know. Granted, they're kind of right. That's how the world revolves. It's just harder to succeed doing it on your own. You know? But we're embedded, man. We're pickled. We're like sauerkraut. We are in the vinegar of the boss hogs and Karens. They're everywhere. Can't get away from said boss hogs and Karens. And not everybody, again, we're talking about there's like you know, are they in power? What would drive somebody? Obviously, you're not qualified. And again, and if you have the mindset you want to be in, like, you know, law enforcement, and you're not, come on, everybody sees it. And it'll be the other law enforcement. There's just so much people can take. They know. But again, they're in the brotherhood of so-and-so, the blue, whatever. And they just like keep their mouth shut. But you might as well have done the same fucking shit. If you're covering for somebody not speaking up, again, I'm not a snitch. And I get it. But I'm also not in a position of power where I'm going to be fucking with people. And then you're going off, you know, we meet in Miami every year, all the sheriffs to do the convention, and then they have so many hookers there and blow, and come on. Come on. Again, their truth window is nailed shut. Nailed shut. And a lot of times there is stuff in their backgrounds which is kind of, people don't talk about, you know, there's a lot of tells. They're telling you everything, not saying anything. Again, YouTube, how these mentally ill people their cadence, how they talk. Catatonic schizophrenics, psychotics. It opened your eye, like, wait a minute, that sounds just like so. Yeah. And they act kind of weird. What do you don't know about them? What are they are going to see? Maybe they haven't acted out yet. But we could nowadays, if you even mention, that's not inclusive, because there are crazy fucking people. More so than insane, if you go by the good books and the ancient texts. Like, we're right there. And the bell curve, the IQ bell curve, you got to understand, man. People, you think there's just a little smidgen of people. Everything else is big, huge mountain of just mouth breathing. Again, I'm not smart shaming, but this is the thing. These people want to be in power. They want to relish. Again, they love, you know what I mean? We're dealing with sociopaths, psychopaths. They're not what you think, you know what I mean? Would you even know? Again, do you know when you're being lied to verbally? Do you know when you're being lied to when you're reading in the texts? Do you know what I mean? Can you see corruption? Are you even self-aware are you delusional enough to think, no, I ain't no crush on that? Yeah, maybe you're part of the problem. Because again, we're all capable of anything. I'm not excluding myself. You know, just see, most people are like, oh no, not me. Yeah, it could be you. Every day you got to work on yourself. Physically, mentally. If you let that shit go, it's like tying your shoes. The same if you just woke up like, I'm not going to tie my shoes today. I'll just walk around, you're tripping, slipping up, looking like a fool. Well, guess what? That's the same analogy that people can see that. A lot of times they're not going to say anything. Is there even physical fitness in schools anymore? I don't even know. We used to have like physical, you know, they'd let us go run off the crazy. I just don't remember all these unhealthy people, unhappy And if they were, they kind of just did their own thing instead of peacocking around and making fun of you that you're not. You're not one of these, gluttons and, poor people. Again, I pray for people. But they have to be exposed. We have to speak up. It's up to us, the people. The power with the people. Power to the people, man. Because we have been bamboozled. We are being bamboozled, lied to, and just again weaponized everything: food, music, religion, everything is weaponized. If you can't wrap your mind around that, I'm not going to explain how they do it. I mean, people argue hell's an ice house. That's another thing. Like thinking they're smart when they don't know shit and contradicting that. Well, one good thing about LA is, man, you better keep your fucking mouth shut if you're uncertain. I kind of miss that, where people like just get dealt with because you say, hey, shut the fuck up. It wasn't me. I'm just seeing it. I'm talking about these were women like pushing baby stroller. Like, hey, you just don't want to. Certain people need a lot of leave alone, even verbally. So moving back to the Midwest, that's one thing that's kind of shocking to me. It's just like people get away with the damnedest shit. Nobody says anything. Like I would be like, look, man, just leave the store, just get out. No, then they start like coddling these people. That's not good for business either. That's another thing, man. You're losing money, you dumbass. You like to steal? Well, you got to have something to steal. People don't got anything, you can't steal anything. Duh. So if that's your game, that's your Mac, you should be paying people, getting people, hey, yeah, let them buy houses because you're going to take it anyways. Come on, tax it or whatever the fuck it is. They're not smart enough to realize that. They don't even understand debit and credit. Just I self me, take, me, and me first. Gimme. Idiots. I could even like, again, like respect a good con. Like, damn, man, I don't want anybody getting hurt, but boss hogs and Karens aren't smart enough to realize that. And they're cheap. Like, oh man, I bet like they're making billions, these people, above international, whatever it is, banking, blah, blah, blah. Probably $1 million a pop. Even at 300,000, they can pay somebody like compared to their billions. It's cheap. They're probably like, damn, good thing we found these. That's why we need these dumbasses. Can we find any more dumbasses? Well, yeah, there's a bunch of them. We'll put them in power. Throw on a costume, a sheriff, whatever. Probably even paying like $100,000 a year. They'll keep everybody down while these people are making billions, man. The wealth of the world. You're not even smart enough to fucking take the money. Ask for a raise. I mean, shit. It drives me crazy. I just can't take it anymore, man. These boss hogs and Karens. They'll end up eating themselves. The snake eating its tail. That's a thing. But look, you got to pray for people. Which I do. That's the hardest part of my faith is, I got to pray for these motherfuckers. But I do. And look, I love y'all. Be blessed. Again, like, share, subscribe, comment. If you're going to help me out, hook me up through Zelle. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be blessed. Cheers.